Jai Hind everyone, welcome back to the Patriotic IAS. Let's start our IAS PCSwala daily current affairs. Today we have 6 topics that we will discuss one by one. The most important topic that we are going to take is the India decision with respect to the Chabahar port with the Iran. So here there is the 3 countries where they have intermingled with the relationship with each other, India, Iran and US. So here, as India is approaching towards the Iran with our national interest, the US, there is the sanctions. So we will discuss it into the detailed manner. So it will be for the GS paper 2 and India-Iran relationship. So there are some points you can know, you can use in your mains answer writing. After that, we will discuss that wax treatment. Generally, whenever there is the injury, we go to the doctors and they refer us for the wax treatment. So we will know that what is the wax treatment. So it will be for the basic science you can use into the prelims. Maybe in the prelims they can ask question on the basics of the wax treatment. After that, we will study that young people fade away when there is the no vision. So here this article is detailed analysis about the how the competition in the current scenario that has made the education and the stress on the students, and that is not productive. So here some of the suggestion has been provided by the writer. So again it will be for the GS paper 2 education, and mainly it will be for the UPSC mains, civil service mains. After that, we will study the continuous news that is with respect to National Human Rights Commission status that has been deferred from the A status. So we will know that how it is going to impact, and some of the basic information related to this status that is given to the country. So it will be for the prelims. You should know this institutes, this quasi judicial bodies, and also you should know that at the global stage what are the repercussions for due to not getting the A status into the accreditation. Okay. Then we will study the challenge of extra pulmonary TB. So what is this EPTB? So we will see that how this pulmonary TB and extra pulmonary TB, they are the differing. So it will be for the basic science, again for the prelims. Then we will study on the importance of regulatory sandbox in artificial intelligence. So we will try to know what is this regulatory sandboxes and how it is going to impact the regulation. Beside that, the regulation, how it is going to impact the growth of artificial intelligence in the different areas of the life, different areas of the governance, different areas of the economy. One by one we will discuss all these things. Before entering into the discussion of the today's newspaper, we will try to solve those questions on the prelims and the mains that has been provided into the Editorial lecture, so that we can revise and same time we can know that how much we have retained. It will also help in a quick revision and a long time, a long period, long term retention of the facts and the topics that we have already studied. So let's start with the prelims practice questions. That is, we do in the name of the Furious 5. These are the 5 most probable questions from the newspaper that we study on a daily basis. They have the lot of relevance, and if you are practicing, as we already have said many a times, that by doing this just 5 questions into the month, you will be doing 150 questions, and by the end of this session you will have the more than 1000 of the prelims question that you already have been solving. So let's start with the first question. Who appoints chairperson and a member of National Human Rights Commission, Prime Minister of India, President of India, Supreme Court of India, Parliament of India? So here you will see that it is the President of the India after the selection process. Okay, so here the President of India that will appoint, and those chairperson, they are generally from the retired Chief Justice of the India. Beside that, you will see that the other members are those again from the judiciary, or they have the expertise of working and functioning into the human right and the human right violation. Okay. Beside that, you should also know the other 4 members are there, the lifetime, the period, the for the tenure is the 5 years or the 70 years. 70 years of the age or the 5 years of the term they have completed. So this is the tenure. Beside that, you should also know that the ex officio member of the all the vulnerable group and the National Human Rights Commission, National Human Rights body associated with them. For example, the National Minority Commission, National Women Commission, National Child Commission, all the chairperson of these bodies are also ex officio member of the National Human Rights Commission. So ex officio member means by being the chairperson of that body, they will be also member of this body. This means ex officio member. This, if I will become the governor, I will also be ex officio member of the something else. Is the considered as the, by being governor, I will be also being the post of the other thing. That is known as the ex officio member. Next question, when the Global Alliance National Human Rights Institution GANHRI established. So you will see that it was established in 1993, and after that the most of the Human Rights Commission at the national level that was established. So it will be the 1993. Okay. So it is the body that has been the associated, that has the support based from the United Nations. Next question. What is the name of exoplanet known as the super Earth located into the constellation Cancer? So the Cancer and Cancri, the name is similar. So this is the 55 Cancri E, and this is the super, this is also known as the super Earth. Super Earth because it is 8 times the Earth, and beside that the main feature of this exoplanet is that it's revolve around the sun, that is star that is similar to our sun. That's why it is so much matching with the our Earth, and that's why it is known as the super Earth. These other exoplanets, they are also exoplanet, but the difference is that they are revolving around the white dwarf, not the same sun as the Earth revolve. That is the difference. Next question. Which regulatory body oversees the implementation of insolvency and bankruptcy code in India? So here you will see that this insolvency and bankruptcy code, a code that was passed into the 2016, it's provide a regulatory authority. It is the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. So it's provide the resolution whenever the companies face the insolvency and bankruptcy. Insolvency and bankruptcy means you are not able to pay the money. If you have borrowed the money, you are in the loss, you declare insolvency, means you don't have the capacity to pay. And bankruptcy, this is the same term. But when the court resolves the issue, when it goes to the bank and bank declare you that your capacity to not pay whatever you have borrowed, then it is known as the bankruptcy. So this is the legal term, this is general term. Last question, where the Hong Kong South Lake located? So yesterday we studied this Hong Kong South Lake. This is part of the UNESCO, and this is the ancient city into the China, and it is the mixture of a very beautiful scenic beauty in the background and the traditional culture, traditional building in this. So yesterday this was into the news because the picture of this lake was provided, and that's why it is into the news. That's why it will be the China. Now we will also discuss the main question of the yesterday's newspaper, the topic that we provided. Yesterday we provided that with example discuss the significance of the alternative dispute resolution mechanism in the light of costly and the time-consuming litigation process. So here already it has given that it is costly and time-consuming process. This is not the alternative dispute mechanism, but the traditional method to get the justice. If you will go into the court, so it's take a decade. Many a case it has taken 3 decades, 4 decades. You have the example of the many of the verdict that comes after the 40 years, 50 years. The person die. Like a person filed a case into his or her young age, and when he is the old, he has the son, grandson, even the verdict doesn't come. And there is the famous dialogue of the Sunny Deol. So you will know that what is the traditional system and the status of the Indian court. So here it is given that it is time consuming as well as costly, because whenever you go for your dates for your cases, you have to pay for the lawyers, and lawyers takes a lot of money. So here, not the only lawyers, you have to pay the money for the different authority like the police and other things. So costly as well as the time consuming. So we have the alternative dispute resolution mechanism. Under that, it will be provided that both the party, you and the person which with you are fighting the case, both can sit down, and there will be the one neutral mediator. They will try to create a common ground so that you can resolve the issue by the mutual dialogue. So maybe there could be the issue, there could be the dispute with respect to your land, or there is dispute with respect to the divorce, all these things. If you are sitting on the ground and talking to each other, you will find that going into the court will be more costly and more time consuming. So you will try to reach a common ground by the compromising with each other. Okay. So this could be the introduction, that what are the number of the cases into the traditional court, and the cost, the way it is expenditure, that is very high. After that, you should bring the what are the benefit of this alternative dispute resolution. The first and foremost already is given that the time consuming, and it will save the time, and it will cost for the very less money, because there is no need for the lawyer. Even the two people, they can talk to each other. The neutral person just will be for the mediation. So this will save your money, your time. Second thing is that this is the integrated approach, means both party will be talking to each other. They will know the issue, what are their opinion, what are their view on the issue that they think, and that's why they will cooperate instead of the competition. Cooperate means they try to solve without going for the competition. In the normal tradition court, there is the competition, that I will win the case, he will lose, or he will win or I will lose. In this alternative mechanism, both can win. Both will have go into the benefit. The second thing is that here it will be the informal. You do not have to go for so many papers. In the normal court process, you have to go with so many procedure. You have to go for the investigation, you have to go for the testing of the evidence, you have to go for the electronics record. There is lot of procedure, but in the normal dialogue, you just have to talk to each other, just have to show the normal proof that yes, I have this paper of my land, this is my grandfather that registered this land. Such type of the thing, you don't have to go for so many testing. Beside that, here even the government departments and agencies, they can use this thing, because we will see that in Indian judiciary, most of the cases are against the state. For example, the teachers have filed case against the state government for their salary hike or the different thing. So here, even the government departments, they can resolve the issue. And beside that, in the last, you can talk about the Malimat committee. The Malimat committee was on the ADR, and it has also proposed for this administrative reform, administrative dispute resolution, so that it can resolve the pending cases. And in the last, you can conclude that yes, if you will follow all this thing, we can reduce the pending cases, and by that we can achieve the justice for all in India. This is the goal of the judiciary. So you can conclude with this. So this is all about from you can write your answer in this manner to make your answer more effective. So this is the way. Already we studied the mediation process, and we studied that what are the mediation process, what are the benefit. You have to use all these things. So writing, whenever you go to write your answer, first of all, you should know what is the exact meaning of the question, what they want to ask. You should try to know what is the core demand. The core demand is what is the utility of the alternative dispute resolution mechanism. So if you know the utility, you can start with you can start with the setback of the traditional court, or you can also define what is meant by the alternative dispute resolution. In the body part, you have to write the what are the benefit, because it is talking about the significance. Here it is talking about the significance is the main demand. So you have to write the significance of what? This alternative dispute resolution mechanism, and in the conclusion you can conclude with the what could be the futuristic benefit. So these are the way you should write your answer. Your the structure of your answer should be the introduction, that should into the paragraph, a small paragraph. We have given a large paragraph. In this paragraph, you should also mention the what are the different methods of the alternative dispute mechanism. One of the example is the consumer dispute redressal system. Whenever you have some issue with the product, there are the separate codes for the consumers. Okay, so after that, you should, in the body part, you should write into the points so that you can save the word and the space. And in the last, you should conclude with the your into the small paragraph. Here you do not need to write the conclusion in separate. Just conclude by the paragraph. The examiner will know that this is the conclusion. And here again, you don't need to write the introduction. You just have to introduce. This is the format through you write the your main answer. Let's start from the today's news analysis. The front page, this is the front page that is talking about the main news. The Modi files nomination from the Varanasi. It will be the hat trick. Already 2 times he has been. So nothing relevant for the UPSC. Just you should know from where your prime minister or the prime minister is, future prime minister is going to be contesting. The second thing is that turnout shows it was the right to revoke the Article 370. So here, the Srinagar, there has been the higher turnout. It was 14% into the previous election. Now it is the 37%, and that's why our Home Minister is of the view that it was due to the revocation of the Article 370 that has been caused into the increase into the turnout. Here you will see beside that one more information is here given. He said that what will be the process when the reporter asked that is there any possibility that the Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir can be provided with the statehood, because now it is union territory. So he reminded his speech into the parliament that he said that in the parliament that the first it will be the bill that will implemented. After that there will be the Panchayati Raj polls, then there will be the delimitation. Delimitation means the boundary line through we will define the different constituency, and after that we will provide the reservations, then assembly polls, and after that statehood. So this is the process through that we are going to provide all this thing. Okay. Next news is Sri Lanka. We have find that there are Tamilians who have faced the arrest over the war memorial. So we know that the terrorists of some community could be the heroes of some community. For example, the Britishers, they consider Bhagat Singh as the terrorist, but for the Indians he is the heroes. We worship him. He respect him beyond the limit. But for the Britishers, what they declared into the newspaper of the 1920s, if you will read, they in their newspaper they wrote that this is the one of the most wanted terrorists. But what is just is here, you will see that Tamilians who are now they are considering them as the terrorists, but for the Tamilians, for the Sinhalese, they are terrorists, but for the some Tamilians, they are the heroes and they have worshipped, and that's why there is the war memorial they have created, and in the context there has been the arrest. This is here into the news. Next news again, it is the former Indian Army officer working with the UN killed into the Rafah. So this is the first casualty from the officer side of the UN, and it is from the India, and he was already the part of the Assam Rifles, and now he left the job and he joined this body. So now the name of the person you should remember, this Colonel Vaibhav Anil Kale. So there could be the question they can ask. He was now working with the United Nations Department of the Safety and Security. Now he is killed, and what is the reason for the attack on the vehicle? There is no known information till now. It is considered that even there was the vehicle that he was using was identified, there was all the symbol to indicate that it was the part of the United Nations, despite there was the attack. So now there will be the further information that will be coming, we will know. Next news that we are going to take is from the relation between the India and Iran. Here you will see that the new Chabahar Pact not exempt from the Iran sanction. So you will see that there is a middle ground that India was trying to adopt. It wanted to make balance with the relation with the US as well as the good relation with the Iran. Why? Because the national interest. We want a oil from the Iran. We want the way, the road, the path to reach the Central Asia. We want to counter the Pakistani port such as the Gwadar port by the this Chabahar port. So this is the national interest of the India. However, it is against the national interest of the US, because US and Iran, they are on the conflicting side, and that's why there are the sanctions. So in the US there is the rule, there is the act known as the Iran Freedom and the Counter Proliferation Act, IFCA, that was passed into the November 2018, and under that there is the sanctions. However, there has been also this act provide the exemption power to the president. Here the president can provide the exemption if he think that there is the sum of the interest that is being served to the US by that state. For example, one of the ground of the exemption is that if they feel that the assistance or the economic development for the Afghanistan that is into the interest of the US as well. Besides that, you will also see that the India already got the waiver into the 2019. However, it was on the condition that it will be zero out the import of the Iranian oil, and India complied with this rule. Okay, so we have seen that such type of the thing that is going on here. We don't know what will be the further step with respect to this deal. The deal we have made with respect to the what are the things that we are going to do. The first thing we are going to do is the here it is given that the $120 million for the equipment for the port, and a credit window of the 250 million, and that will be help into the development of this port so that we can expedite the process and we can reach to the Central Asia. So here you will see that this port is very important. It is also provide the path to reach the Afghanistan as well, and we know that the stability in the Afghanistan is very important, because whenever there is the instability in the Afghanistan, the terrorist that is being produced there can be infiltrated into the Indian side of the Jammu and Kashmir, because we know that there is always the interconnection between this terrorist group. Okay, so you should be very careful that what are the implications that India is going to face. All this thing has been given here, and we have provided in your notes as well. You will find here it as well. Okay. Next important news that we are going to take is from the science and technology. Here it is from the basic science, and it is about the wax treatment for the joint injury. So we have provided the same thing in your notes as well. Where is this? Just give me 1 second. Yes. So here, why this wax treatment is used? You will find that whenever there is the injury, particularly into the legs, the doctors prescribe you for the wax treatment. What is this wax? You have to melt down this wax, and the heat of that wax you use to liquefy the lymphatic vessels in your injured area. So why this is the main reason for this injury? Lymphatic fluid, they accumulate as the injured part. So whenever you use the heat of this wax, they will just enlarge this blood vessel, and that's why whatever there is the accumulation, they will drain, and that's why the injury can be healed. This is the process. Your pain will be relieved. This is the process. So why we do not use the water? Water of 100 degrees centigrade that can burn your skin. Besides that, there is the negative impact of that. So even you can use the water at the lesser temperature, but there is the difference. Whenever you use the water, that cool down very immediately. Why? Because there is the low latent heat. What is the latent heat? The capacity of the substance to acquire the heat and keep it for the longer time. Latent heat is that. Okay. So for the wax, it is more. Wax, the heating process means the heat release will be slower down, and that's why for the longer time you can use it for the your treatment, for the relieving of your pain for the longer time. In the water, that will be cooled down in the 5 minutes, but if you will use the wax, that will cool down into the 10 minutes. This is the main thing. So here it is given that the even you can use the water, but the bearable temperature, but it cools far more rapidly. So the cooling time for the water is much lesser. That's why we use the molten wax that has been given. So this is the reason. And why it is used? Because it helps into the enlarge of the blood vessel, and that's why whatever there has been the accumulation of the lymphatic fluid, that flow it down, and that's why your injury heals. This is the reason. Next important news that we are going to cover is from the editorial page. This is the mainly this news article that talk about the young people fade away when there is the no vision. No vision. It is mainly this article is talking about the competition system that is going on now. We have a lot of the competition systems, such as, for example, whenever you go to take admission into the your university after your college 12th, so you have to go through the common university entrance test. Whenever you want to take admission into the your medical colleges, you have to go through the NEET and the JEE for the IIT. All this competition, they are creating a stress into the mind of the student, and these competition do not create the productive capability into the students. So here the writer want to give that the we should not only give to the importance to the this competition, but beside that we also need to give to the importance of the class 12th marks, because class 12 marks represent that whole the year what the student have done and what they have the learned. Otherwise this competition system give the more edge to the coaching centers and the coaching institute, and many a times they are very exploitative. Many a times they take lot of money, lot of fees from the parents, and those parents who have the low earning, they take the loans, they borrow the money, and they pay for these coachings, and this create extra burden and extra stress on the mind of the student as well as the family. So here the writer is suggesting that the class 12th marks should be taken. Beside that, he is talking about the interview system. In the interview, the interviewer will ask that what is your strength, what is your weakness, and the student can represent in that manner. So it will reduce the stress as well as it will more the all the system of the selection more productive. So this is all about from this news. Next news, already we have studied this, the accreditation of the status A that has been deferred. So what is this accreditation? This is a type of the status or the some point is given. Marks like the if I am studying in the some college for the some to achieve something. So there is the evaluation system. It is given A, B, C to show that what is my performance. Same is given to the this institution, those who are working into the human right. They are the protector of the human right, but the many times they are under the control of the states, and that's why the state misuse. And that's why there is a system under the Global Alliance of the National Human Rights Institute, that is known as the Global Alliance of the National Human Rights Institute, that give the evaluation. For example, whenever we study into the college, our teachers evaluate. See that this body is like the teacher. So that will evaluate that what is the performance of this national institution, and by that it gives the future prospect that how they are going to participate. For example, if we will not give the A status to the National Human Rights Commission, they will not part of the many of the body of the United Nations. For example, if you are not capable, for example, if I am the third division in class 12, How can I take the decision of the other student into the future? For example, if the National Human Rights Commission that is not fulfilling the need that is essential for the protection of the human right of the people. For example, the accusation of the National Human Rights Commission of India is that there was the government intervention into the appointment of those members into the National Human Rights Commission. The other accusation is that there was the police officer into the investigation process of this. So if the case is against the police, if the police is the part of the investigation, how that will be neutral? Okay. The third accusation is that this National Human Rights Commission of India doesn't have the representation of the genders, in the genders like the women's as well as the minorities. So here, if you are not representing the minority and the gender, they are the most vulnerable. How you will give justice to the people, how you will protect the right of the people, because the most violative, the most vulnerable section is those minority, those women's. Okay. So here, if you are not providing, this is the accusation. So here you should know already we have discussed all these things. The writer has criticized a few of the things that has been mentioned into the recent brochure of this Human Rights Commissioner. Here they have justified the Manu Smriti, and the writer is of the view the Manu Smriti is many a times not that much as per the aligning with the human right. Because many a times, many of the progressive leaders, for example, Baba Sahib Bhimrao Ambedkar, Dr. Ambedkar has criticized the Manu Smriti, and many a times there is the burning of the such scripture. If you are going to glorify into the Human Rights Commission and its brochure, so this is not justification of that you are going to protect the human rights, because many a times this create the hierarchy and the discrimination into the society. Such time of the thing that has been mentioned by this writer Vivek Karjo. He is a retired Indian Foreign Service officer. So this is the view that is given by him. Further, he is talking about the Paris Principle. What is the Paris Principle? This Paris Principle provides the different type of the ground and the different type of the setup that will be used for the evaluation of the, whenever you are going to give the accreditation. Okay. So what is the benefit? Here it is given that the benefit of the A grade accreditation. Okay. What is the thing? There will be the work and the participation of the GA and HRI. This is the Global Alliance of the National Human Rights Institution. The second thing is that there are the many bodies that work for the human rights under the United Nations. So whenever there is any of the committee or any of the council that is working under the United Nations, so India will get the participation to take participation in all these bodies. Now, if you don't have the A accreditation, so you will have not the opportunity to participate in all these bodies and the meetings. So this is all about. Besides that, what are the various principles that gives the indication, the evaluation process, the different criteria for the giving accreditation. First is that mandate and the competency. The second is the autonomy from the government. So this is the violation that is the being violated. Independence guaranteed by the statute and the constitution already we have provided. Pluralism. So here pluralism, here we have been criticized that we have not provided about the genders to be represented. Here the genders means transgenders or the women. Educate resources, there is no issue. Educate power to investigation, here there is the issue. The three area where we have faced the issue: autonomy from the government, pluralism, and the educate power to investigation. These are the three areas where Indian Human Rights Commission, National Human Rights Commission has been criticized. So this is all about from this news. You should know here it is given the what is the reaction from the Indian side. Our external affairs minister has criticized the West that they themselves follow the double standard, and they talk about the human rights position into the India. So this is from the here. Next news that we are going to take is here from the opinion page. On this editorial news, in the editorial section there is nothing important. All this that has been the reputation from the yesterday. Yesterday we saw the food inflation. Yesterday we also saw the, already we have so many news that we have analyzed on the status of the different community into the Manipur. We have seen that the Biren Singh government that has been always making allegation against the illegal migration. However, we have seen that this is the functioning of the government and the biased nature of the government that has been the causing the continuous civil war into the Manipur. Already we have done a lot of discussion, so we will not go for the repetition. Next news is the extrapulmonary TB. So what is the extrapulmonary TB? So this is the TB that is not associated just with the lungs. This is associated with the other parts of the body. Generally, this is the pulmonary. Pulmonary means this is the infect the lung. And you will see that each years 1 crore of the people, they are impacted by the TB, and out of the 1 crore, 27% is from the India. So this is the point you should remember, that what is the condition. Out of 100 disease, 100% being infected by the TB, 27 is from the India. This is the condition. The second thing you should know that this extrapulmonary TB, this is the very much critical because it is very difficult to detect them. Our diagnosis is not that much strong, and that's why many times the people are suffering from this type of the disease TB, but they don't know that yes, they are suffering from that. Many times if there is the EPTB, this is also associated with the pulmonary. This impact the lung, but the many times without infecting the lung, it can infect the other part of the bodies. So that's why the burden and the detection of this type of the TB is very difficult, and that's why that has become a headache for the India. Next news that we are going to take is from the text and the context. Already we have done the Volker murder case verdict. Here we have seen that what was the case. He was a physician. Later he left his practice and he used to do the campaign. He made a committee so that he can make aware of the people that what is the superstition, how this is associated with the religion, and on the name of the religion there is the misuse and exploitation, and that's hurted the sentiments and the interest of the many religious group, and that's why they killed him into the 2013. After that there was the investigation, and in the investigation day before the yesterday we saw that there was the two person who was given the life imprisonment. This is all about, already we have discussed into the yesterday discussion in the very comprehensive manner. Next news is on the artificial intelligence. This is important topic because we know that the artificial intelligence that is going to become an integrated part of our life. And we have seen that this can be not used into the day-to-day life, but the government can use, even it can help the growth of the economy. So what is the sandbox? Regulatory sandbox. So just you should know the basics about this. The basic is that the regulatory sandbox, it means that the government or any external body, they are not going to interfere with whatever the regulation is being done. It is the company or those startups who are going to start or use the artificial intelligence, they create their own space, and separately they do all the experiment in the separate space, and they regulate in such a manner that do not going to impact the other entities in a negative manner. So no external interference, so that we can get the independence to test and experiment, and after that whatever the innovation that is being find or we can get at the output, we can use into the economy or the different area. So here it is talking about it can be used into the health, transportation and the finance, and it can help into achieving the ethical implication, and also it will prevent from the data misuse, and it will save your data privacy. Okay, so here you will find that there are the risks also associated with all these things. The risk where we can use, and what are the risk associated. Ethical implication of the artificial intelligence. Lot of data is used into the artificial intelligence, so data will be breached, and also there could be the risk of the misuse of whatever the data is there. So here the regulatory is sandbox. This will bring the balance between the your innovation and your responsibility. Innovation means you can use into the much effective manner in this area, and you can protect yourself from all these things. So this is the use of the regulatory sandbox. Many a times there is the extra regulation or the interference from the government, and that's why your innovation is prohibited. It creates the hampering in your growth process. Okay. Beside that, you can use in this model self-evaluation, and you can evaluate innovation as well as you can monitor. Okay, so here you will use the furnishing them with the empirical evidence. When you do the experiment, with the passing of the time, you have the lot of the empirical data, and by that you can prove it with the empirical data. Okay. What is the use of this? You can now, after whenever you have the sufficient data, you will have the good information, and whenever you are going to take the decision, that will be the well-informed decision, and your policy, and whenever you make the decision, that will be as per the legal and the policy response that will be beneficial for the innovation. Okay. So here all this thing has been given. So what is the cases into the India? What are the different regulatory provisions? What are the steps taken by the different government in India? Recently we have seen that the Karnataka Innovation Authority Act has been provided, and it has provided innovation authority in a very dedicated manner. One more thing, Telecommunication Act recently passed also provide for the regulatory sandbox, and here it will provide the central government with the authority to establish the one or more regulatory sandboxes. Okay. At the international stage, you will see that already we have seen that in the Europe with the Article 53 they have provided what the AI Act, and also there is the Agency for the Supervision of the Artificial Intelligence. Beside that, Niti Aayog has provided, released the discussion paper on all this thing at the National Strategy for the AI, and this will lead to establishment of the National AI Portal. So all this thing has been provided, and the step taken by at the India level, at the global level, so that we can provide this type of the regulatory sandbox. So mainly you should know that this is used for the making the balance with the innovation as well as the regulation. You can innovate without the breaching any of the laws or the policy of the government, so that the win-win situation can be created. One more thing has been given here. The Digital India Act also provides for the such sandbox, regulatory sandbox, so that we can promote all this thing. Okay. For the tomorrow, you should try to practice a question on the basis of AI. So we have a question, just let me show you. This is the question. Discuss the potential of the artificial intelligence in the improving the effectiveness of the e-governance in India. So here, please try to write a answer, and it should be in 150 words and for the 10 marks. So how you should start? You should start with the dire need for the regulation of this artificial intelligence, because the importance, significance, and the main thing, the potential of this artificial intelligence in the different areas. We discussed that in the health, in the education, in the governance, in all area it has been enhanced. So the most important focus point for your answers would be the governance. You should not go for the education or the health, as already we can use this artificial intelligence in those areas. So your focus area should be on the governance. So after that, in the body part, you should bring the potential of artificial intelligence into the governance. You can talk about you can identify the right beneficiary. For example, whenever you distribute these freebies such as the free rice and all these things, so there is the many of those beneficiaries who are not deserving. They are rich, but they are getting all these things. So you can identify in a more accurate manner. Besides that, you can manage the documents of the government. There is lot of documentation process. So management of the documents. Besides that, you can also make a better policy for what are the benefits that should be the schemes that should be provided with the which section of the community or the society. All these things you can write, and in the end you can end with the how the government can promote by the making people aware. Beside that, there is also need for the more research and the institution into the artificial intelligence. And after that, by this you can conclude. So this is all about from the discussion. So here we have covered most of the area already. There is the other news, wholesale price inflation and the CPI already we have discussed. We will not go into the detail of that. Well, you should know the difference between the wholesale price index and the consumer price index. Only difference you should know is this: wholesale price index is this doesn't include the services. Consumer price index include the goods as well as the services. This is the main difference. So here we will conclude our session. Thank you for joining the session. All the best. Jai Hind.